let me talk you through the ARC bit. Feel free to ask questions again on this and we'll come up to this. So let me just explain, first of all, where the ARC system at the moment is going to cause you problems. Okay, so first things first, on the left-hand side of the screen here, this is the logbook output that we get in ARC. When you click the binoculars at the bottom of the page in ARC, and it drops you a copy of your submission document, any entries that you've put in the diary, you don't see, you only see this logbook. And ultimately, all you've got to do is get ARC to agree that you've done over the requisite number of days at the top here, 400. Annoyingly, this candidate's done 400 and a half day. I wouldn't do that. I would make sure you got more than 400. I'd make sure you got more than 200. You know, 401, 2, 3 says to us as assessors, that's the first thing it says is, oh, I've only just done enough. Now, over a 2-year period, you should have ample opportunity to record 400 days, 450 probably plus you should be able to record. And actually, no, it's about 440, isn't it? It's about 220 working days in a year. Give or take a bit of sickness, or if you've been doing it a bit longer and that number's up to 400, 500, 600, nobody cares. When it's 400 and a half, it kind of smacks as someone who's just doing just enough. And the whole point of the APC is you to show you're keen and keen to progress. The other thing the diary doesn't give us, or the logbook doesn't give us in ARC, is a total of what you've done against each competency. So I will go and do what I have done in yellow here, and I'll go and work out the overall totals. I'll come back to those in a moment. The other thing it tells us is it gives you an opportunity in ARC to record level 1s. And I have absolutely no idea why we're asking you to do that. Level 1 is CPD, it's knowledge. You shouldn't be recording experience against level 1. So if I was you, I would only be putting experience against level 2 and 3, which is what we've done with our APC diary. If you've got a CPD event, you're going to go along to a conference. That's not competency experience, that's knowledge. So you record that in your CPD log, not in your diary. Okay, so basically, you should only really be recording level 2s and 3s. This candidate has recorded one level 1 here and one level 1 down here. And it's again, what's the continuity? Why are you recording against level 1 is the first question. Secondly, why have you only recorded one element against level 1? So it's screaming at us that this candidate doesn't really know what they're doing, doesn't understand the system, doesn't understand the logbook, and doesn't understand what the logbook's giving us. So at the moment, we've got 2.5 days against the level 1 against level 1. So that seems daft. I've no idea why you're doing it. What I'm actually seeing in a lot of logbooks is 15, 20, 30 days against level 1 and less days against level 3. Okay. Again, that's alarm bells. It's going to scream at us that you have done more learning, more doing, and not enough advising. And that's the other problem we're seeing here with this candidate. 59 days against level 2, 2 days against level 3. You're telling us the wrong story. That should be, if anything, it should be the other way around. If you were thinking about the level 2 to level 3, level 2 is doing, level 3 is a depth and breadth of understanding and so on. So the key thing here is getting this balance right. And this is where the graph that it grows in your logbook, you can start to see, you can start looking at your total level 3s and level 2s. And as a mentor, if I was mentoring you, we'd be looking at that going, well, hold on a minute. We've got 400 days. We've got 6 core level 3s. I think probably, and you don't quote me on this, this is just me throwing arbitrary numbers at it. We want all our level 3s to line up to 60 plus days. We want all our level 2s to line up to maybe 30 plus days, you know, and we'll see how we go there. We don't want level 3s lower than level 2s. Okay. So we see that happening a lot here. There's another one there, 63 days against level 2, 7 against level 3. That's not right. That's saying to me, you've done hardly any advising, you've done lots of doing, but it's a level 3 competency. So when we see you on the day, I'm going to highlight that as one of the key competencies I want to pick on and have a look at. If we then draw that into the totals, these top 6 are level 3s. Hold on a minute, we've got a procurement at 28 days and we've got a contract at 35 days, but the rest are, on 47 days, then 94, 70 and 61. So actually the average should be nearer 60 days each. Now, if we'd seen that in a graph like this one up here, and you can see this is an example where you got tons happening on one, not a lot on the rest, you would immediately see that problem and you go, whoa, hold on a minute, we've got to stop here. I'm over recording against this, or am I stuck in a rut? Am I getting a depth and breadth of experience across my competency? So this is where the APC diary is giving you this intel, this information as you're going along and enabling you to have that conversation with your supervisor and counsellor. This candidate, 350 days in level 2, 43 days in level 3. You're saying to me, I've done a lot, I've not done a lot of advising. When I see you there on the day at the assessment, I'm going to be focusing absolutely on those level 3s, because at the moment you're telling me you haven't done much. Okay, now that's the challenge that you have with ARC, and not understanding what the diary in ARC is going to output into what we see as assessors. And what I'm telling you now is the way I will interpret what you're sending us, and then the thought process that goes through my head. And my thought process here is, we've got a candidate here who's woefully under experienced, and the level 3s are a big issue. Okay, so before I even see you, I'm already building a picture that I'm going to be focusing on, very much so the contract practice, the procurement, and the project finance, this one here at level 3. They're the first 3 I'm going to pick on and spend most of my time assessing on. Okay, so that's kind of what the ARC system is telling us, because you've not thought about or managed and thinking what you're doing. So when you log into ARC, over here on the left hand side, you'll have a diary icon. So you click on the diary, and then when you click on the diary, it will take you down to what you might have recorded in your diary so far against your competencies, and it will give you a level that you've recorded and the number of days spent against each of your competencies down here. When you click on the new entry button, or if you want to go in and edit one, either way, it'll then take you to this page. Now, this is always been an ongoing challenge. When ARC first came out, I did ask the question, why are we asking you to give us a title on the diary entry? Because it's meaningless. It's an extra entry that you don't need. But, it's always been a bit of a problem. So competency, drop down, select the competency. Now, remember the logbook I showed you online, where it had the total against each level for that competency, and it had a total in the month that you were recording against that competency. So what I would suggest is you then select the level 2 or 3, and you select the number of days you want to put in. So because you can record up to, I think it's up to 30 days in a month, you just take that logbook entry that was on January against, access and right over land. We did 5 days. So you go access and rights over land. The level is level 2 or 3, whichever you want to pick, and you put in 5 days. Start date, yeah, whatever, doesn't really make any odds. Title, you can type in whatever you like there, no one sees it. Diary entry, you can say external diary, job done. You do that for each competency once a month. So you're not going in and recording every 30 days. So you're not having to write it in ours and then write it in here. All you're doing is drawing the logbook totals in. You know what the total days are because you've got in the myAPC diary. You put them in here, you click the binoculars at the bottom of the page, and you check the logbook is tallying with what you think it should be. If anyone then says, can I have a copy of your diary? You go back to our system and you print a PDF, the diary page, and say, yeah, where would you like me to send it? And you can print the logbook as well if you wanted to. There's nothing in the APC process that says you have to use ARC as a management tool, or that you have to record every single day in ARC for your diary. You can literally just come in and you can literally just put the totals in. So each month, if you do it as you go along, you might want to go back and change things. So I would probably do it after 6 months or so, but certainly 3 months out from the submission, you need to start going into ARC and going, right, okay, January, the 6 competencies I had and what I did in January in total. So 5 against that one, 7 against contract practice, 9.5 against construction tech, 3 against that. And you're literally taking an entry for each of these, and that's all you need to do. Because all this is doing is creating that logbook, and all it's doing is checking that logbook has given you the requisite 400 or 200 day minimum. The rest of it you can do outside in the myAPC diary. You don't need to do in ARC at all.